next question, this could be more relevant to the folks in the crowd, is with all your nonprofit successful ventures, how did the activities that you participated in high school or college help you in those ventures?
Yeah, so I was talking to Shun about this over lunch, where when I was in third grade, I cried when they put me in front of the class to the point where they said, okay, I guess you're not talking in front of the class. It was like that, I was very introverted, very shy, very awkward. And so then Shun asked me, it's like, well, when did that shift? And it shifted for me partially because I joined the school play. And when you join the school play, when you have to say things in front of people on stage, I didn't even have a big role. I had a small role. And I joined that play mainly because there were some people in the play I liked and was friends with. And they were like, oh, you're doing this? All right, I'll do that too. And it's like, well, I have to try out for this. And I was like, I'll get a little role. So I got a little role, and then I got a bigger role. And then I went out for the debate team at my school and did well. So there's like a progression, but if there's something I would actually advise some of you to do, and this is not, look, like I'm not someone who thinks that you have to necessarily be extroverted to have extraordinary, impact in various ways. Like I'm going to go on a limb and say most people here in our community are probably naturally introverted. I'm just going to on a bit of a limb. And I say this as a parent. I've got two boys, and they're both very introverted. But if you do want to put yourself out there a bit more, I think theater is a good thing. I think team sports is a really good thing. And it's not like when you're in team sports, you have to stand there and give a speech or a talk. But there's a lot of the same dynamic where if you're in a team sport, there are people watching you in your performance, there are people who depend upon you, you get coached. So team sports and theater are very, very helpful for all sorts of work, in my opinion. And as a kid, I did not know that or believe that. As a kid, I thought it was school equals smart equals grades equals work, and then there's all this other stuff. And I frankly sucked at most of the other stuff when I was a kid. Like I'd skipped a grade, I was very scrawny, I was bad at sports. And so I thought, well, that stuff doesn't matter anyway. I didn't understand why even good schools like Duke University let in athletes preferentially. I was like, why are they doing that? And then now I totally get it. Now I understand why they do it. And I understand too that the capacity is in that direction. So I'll just describe my arc to you. Skinny, scrawny, pretty nerdy, et cetera, I have a bit of a growth spurt, and I'm really, really angry. How many of you are very, very angry? You can admit it to me. No, it's fine. Admit it to your parents. They'll sign you up for therapy. No. I was very, very angry, very ticked off. In large part because I was the only Asian kid in my grade, and there was one Asian boy, me, and one Asian girl, and they always just told us we should date. And it pissed me off. Very, very angry. So I was skinny, scrawny, angry, nerdy, introverted. I listened to a lot of mopey music. I can even find a high school yearbook photo of me online now, actually. But then when I was 17 years old, I went to the gym, and I started drinking protein shakes like this guy. And I started channeling my anger in a particular direction. Now, was that the healthiest thing in the world? Who knows? But that's what I did. And then when I was in my teens and early 20s, I started playing basketball recreationally, and it became like my biggest form of exercise and release as an adult, where I played every week through my 20s and 30s. So anyway, that was a bit of my, but like what people would categorize me as, I think that was accurate at the time, was like a late bloomer. And I think that there's something actually about like a rate of maturation. So I'm friends with a woman named Lisa Ling, who's a journalist. You guys know who Lisa Ling is? Anyway, whatever, she's on CNN sometimes. So she has two Asian boys, like I have two Asian boys, and she has said something to me that really, she was like, oh yeah, Asian boys are late bloomers. And I was like, we are? And I thought, well, I was. And I looked at my boys, and I was like, oh my gosh, maybe it's just a thing for us. Maybe we're all just late bloomers. So that was I think like the rate at which I matured was not in lockstep with whatever the grade levels were.